Travis Goff was why I came here.
All I knew during season is, like, I'm just going to play my heart out, see where it takes me. We have unfinished business. I can't leave right now.
Win the small battles and then try to win the big one at the end.
So we never thought that our last game would have been our last, so I'm definitely going to be playing every game like it is my last.
Do they really bring to life this notion that KU's special, that they feel that they want that, and this is an aspirational job?
K-Nation, sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K-Nation, Kansas AD Travis Goff has quickly raised the bar for KU athletics by bringing the right people to Kansas. He gives us an inside look at what goes into picking a new head coach.
And we catch up with K-State volleyball star Aaliyah Carter. She talks about the one moment that made her want to come back for her 5th and final season with the Wildcats.
And the recruiting landscape for KU football looks wildly different than in years past. KU insider Kevin Flaherty joins the show to discuss the talent the Hawks have brought in this offseason.
Welcome into K-Nation. Glenn Kinley with Caroline Soro. First of all, happy Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there. Second of all, strap in. We've got a loaded show for the moms.
Yes, we do.
And for everybody.
Yes, we do, but most importantly, the moms.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, so let's just waste no more time. Let's get into it, starting in Lawrence, where Kansas baseball has bubble team for the NCAA tournament written all over them. Last home series of the year, and Friday was a dud. A 13-5 loss to Houston has Saturday's game looking like a must-win after falling behind 8-1 in the third. It looked grim, but the big bats of Chase Diggins, Ben Hartle, and Lenny Ashby decided to be the Grim Reaper. Hawks come from behind to pick up an understatedly massive win, then cap the series with a 9-6 victory today to keep that bubble from bursting. Hawks travel to Texas next week for the final 3 games of the year.
I think every game moving forward is a must-win game, but at the same time we've got to break it down, go pitch by pitch, and win the small battles, and then try to win the big one at the end.
Yesterday was KU's rare disease game, which has a special meaning for pitching coach Brandon Scott. His daughter Reese is one of 30 individuals in the U.S. diagnosed with CSNK2B, a seizure disorder. The Jayhawks donned red zebra-striped gear yesterday to help raise awareness.
Rare disease is something that affects 300 million people in the world. It affects our family, firsthand, and we wanted to use the platform just to raise the awareness that there are people with things that are bothering them that sometimes we don't know about. And I think it's great, and what a great response today by the crowd.
Awesome stuff there from Coach. Let's talk about Wildcat baseball on the road for the last time in the regular season at West Virginia. A really solid win in Game 1, a 4-3 game where K-State used some small ball to score runs. In Game 2, Jackson Wentworth looked good for a while, and then it started downpouring, really knocked him out of his rhythm. The Cats would lose that one 13-0. Then in today's rubber match, the Mountaineers jump out to an early lead. K-State got a few runs but couldn't quite claw back. WVU wins 12-5, so the Cats drop the series, 3-game home series against BYU this upcoming weekend to cap off the season. It's a big one.
Yes, it is, and it's been a memorable season for KU softball. Here's how the Big 12 softball tournament went down. It all started with a nail-biting open round win over Houston 6-5, but the Hawks ran into the juggernaut of the college softball, falling to eventual tourney champs Oklahoma 10-1. After OKC, the Hawks look at a 28-25-1 record, which is their best since 2016. Well, Travis Goff recently made his 4th hire since taking over as the athletic director at Kansas. And a selling point for the soccer opening, well, the success of his other 3 additions.
Absolutely. Lance Leipold took the Kansas football program from 0 wins to back-to-back bowl games. Lindsey Cool has the women's golf team in NCAA regionals 2 years in a row for the first time ever. And Dan Fitzgerald's baseball team, more conference wins this spring than the last 2 seasons combined. I sat down with Goff and some of his hires to find out what goes into bringing the right head coaches to Lawrence.
Stability, consistency, continuity.
With 3 hires looking like a touchdown, a home run, and a hole-in-one.
It's who we are and what we do now. We want all of our athletic programs at KU to have success.
And a fourth with high hopes.
They want someone who's driven for even that next level.
Travis Goff has won the trust of Jayhawk fans and his coaches in a hurry.
Travis Goff was why I came here.
But he doesn't have a type.
Are there things where you say, before we even get started, they got to have X, Y, Z?
Not really.
He says the wins are a result of a top-notch process.
Come in with some open-mindedness, you learn some things along the way, and then you get after it.
To call the search extensive is not coach speak.
We call every head coach of the top 50 to 75 programs in Division I, and then we call every head coach at the high end of Division III and the high end of Division II. Get some recommendations about what we might need to do to invest in that program from successful head coaches. By the way, the other thing you might get is them raising their hand.
You see, it's more than just finding the best resume available. Who's a fit for Kansas?
You have to fully evaluate that particular program. Where's that program been? What are the needs? What's the evolution in that sport?
How important, as you're looking to hire, is longevity and finding someone who doesn't just want to be here for a year or two until the next gig pops up?
Do you really feel, do they really bring to life this notion that KU's special? That they feel that they want that, and this is an aspirational job? All four of those coaches have demonstrated longevity and commitment and some degree of loyalty, which maybe is less and less common.
I asked Goff's two most recent hires what made KU stand out to them.
The athletic department under Travis's leadership really believes in doing things the right way, building and developing student athletes of character and integrity. Absolutely, without hesitation, know and believe that Travis values all 16 sports and that he wants soccer specifically to be successful.
I thought KU had an incredible picture of who they were and where they were at, and a great vision of where they needed to go. And then for me, I was really looking for something for our family, a place to go and a destination.
Goff hasn't just brought in the right people, he's kept the right people.
It's hard to say you go for the throat more than being a 3-1 season the last 4 years or whatever. Go for the throat being win a national championship. But I actually think there's an opportunity to do that right now.
I definitely think they belong now. They feel that.
Excited about the program, the direction we're going.
Hiring or retaining, it's down to a science in Lawrence, Kansas. And the mad scientists at the top just might have built a formula for the future.
What kind of person are they? How do they treat people? What do people say about working with them or for them? And then I'd say the last thing, Glenn, is and this needs to be authentic and sincere, but why KU?
An interesting wrinkle that we talked about, of course, was NIL being added.
Right.
He admitted even hiring a football coach today would have been different than Lance just a few years ago because of a massive piece of NIL there.
Right. Well, even that, it's hard to argue with the success Travis
And he's
has
hoping
had.
that he doesn't have to hire a men's basketball coach for a long time.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Don't go anywhere, Bill. Hey, and you don't go anywhere. We got more K-Nation coming up. Local high school football players were recognized by the National Football Foundation and by the legendary Bill Snyder this week. Why he says this is so much more than football.
And there are no off days when we're talking about the transfer portal. Who are the latest additions for KU football and K-State hoops? That's next.
Car wrecks don't just happen from 9 to 5. If you're in a wreck, we're available 24/7.
Don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need now. In a wreck, need a check?
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
38 Special, live. July 25th, 7 p.m., Stormont Vale Event Center. On sale now at the Cable Dahmer box office and Ticketmaster. 38 Special.
Hi, Clay Sherwood here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cube.
And they want to make sure you're keeping your pool clear this summer with Aquasil, a truly chlorine-free solution. Let swims and sweeps keep you cool this summer.
Ladyfingers Automotive. Family-owned auto repair with hands that understand your vehicle. Quality repairs done at an affordable cost. When you're in need of service, repair, or towing, remember Ladyfingers Automotive.
Are you looking for employment? Consider Bob's Janitorial Services. Join our team of motivated professionals, where we believe in respecting our employees and rewarding their dedication. Our clients appreciate a job well done. Thank you.
I came to Success Vision, I picked up my glasses, and they had them ready in an hour.
Same-day service. I've never understood how other places can make you wait for like a week to get your glasses. I mean, do you just not use your eyes for a week?
At Success Vision, I got my glasses in an hour.
Even my no-line bifocals were ready in just a couple of hours.
Done in 1 hour.
At Success Vision, you get your glasses that day.
Thanks, Success Vision.
2 pair for $39 in an hour for less. Come see us today, Success Vision Express.
Car wrecks don't just happen from 9 to 5. If you're in a wreck, we're available 24/7.
Don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need now. In a wreck, need a check?
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
The Storm Track Weather Cam Network on 27 News. More cameras covering your community, giving you a live, exclusive look at weather as it rolls across northeast Kansas.
That is the view in Holton as that storm is starting to clear out.
Working for you to provide advance warning of changing conditions. The Storm Track Weather Cam Network, available live to you anytime, online, and on the 27 News mobile app. Sponsored by Prairie Bend Casino and Resort.
Welcome back to K-Nation. Let's do some roster updates.
Yeah, there was some noise this week. Starting on the gridiron for KU, welcome in by Job from Michigan State. A week after getting Michigan O-lineman Amir Herring, a couple big additions there. Job played in 1 game with the Spartans as a true freshman, preserving the red shirt. But here's his high school numbers from On3. He was a 4-star prospect, notably the #1 recruit out of the state of Oklahoma. Again, that's in the class of 2023. He was listed as the 7th-ranked defensive end and the 44th-ranked prospect in America.
Basketball lost a commit. That's Florida sophomore Riley Kugel, who was the first commit of this year's coming team. But CBS Sports is reporting that Kugel will actually not be coming to Lawrence after all. He averaged 9.2 points, 3.5 boards, and 1.5 assists per game with the Gators last year.
And let's talk a little bit more about KU and men's basketball. Bill Self told college basketball insider Andy Katz he expects Johnny Furphy to stay in the NBA draft after a breakout freshman campaign. So the Jayhawks are moving forward without planning for the return of Aussie freshmen that averaged 9 points and 5 boards per game.
It definitely makes things interesting. And in Manhattan, K-State lands Max Jones out of the portal. He's a 6'4", fifth-year senior that spent the last 2 years at Cal Fullerton. After his first 2 years at the University of Tampa, he's played a lot of ball, averaging 15.3 points a game last year and was named his Conference Freshman of the Year back in 2020. Well, this week, 12 area scholar athletes that dominated on and off the high school football field this season were recognized.
Yeah, the annual Bill Snyder Family Sunflower chapter of the National Football Foundation. Say that 5 times fast. It's a special event, though, held in Lawrence this year. It's special for all involved, recognizing the work done not only on the field, but also in the classroom and the community for these guys. So I caught up with a future Jayhawk, a future Wildcat, and, of course, Coach Snyder.
I think I'm coming up at a great time. I think Coach Leipold has done amazing things within the program. I think he's a great guy, and the culture that he's established, that it just continues to build, and I'm just really excited to come up here.
I'm thrilled to get to Manhattan. Been waiting for a while, and so it's going to be awesome to see where I stack up.
The people that I was associated with, you know, starting with the players, fellow coaches, the people in the academic world at Kansas State. It was people that just genuinely cared, and they wanted the best for the young people.
Fun stuff there for all involved.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can get Bill Snyder in studio.
We might have to do that. Coach, if you're watching, you're welcome in studio anytime.
Just an idea. Stick around, because coming up after the break, K-State volleyball star Aaliyah Carter talks about her decision to run it back for 1 more year.
Is that me?
No, it's me, your fireplace. Creosote buildup in my flue can not only be smelly, but it can also be dangerous and cause damage.
Now's the time to have your chimney inspected and cleaned. Call Certified Fireplace and Chimney today.
JML Engraving Manhattan provides quality service you can count on. JML can add that personal touch to your gifts, trophies, and special occasions. JML Engraving, celebrating victories in life.
Meet new All Sensitive Fresh. It's a game changer for me and my family.
Now All has a detergent that's gentle on skin and leaves our laundry smelling greasy.
All Sensitive Fresh, with a hypoallergenic scent my family loves.
We have all been touched by the support of a caring nurse, a professional who is there to help in trying times. 27 KSNT and Baker University are passionate about the services nurses provide. We want to recognize the heroic work that they do every day for their patients and their families. And we need your help. Visit KSNT.com to nominate a deserving Kansas nurse. Each month, a winner will be highlighted on TV and online. Nominate that special nurse who has made a difference in your life. Sponsored by Baker University.
My parents pre-planned their funeral arrangements with Penwell Gable. We didn't realize what an amazing gift it was at the time. They planned their services and it was exactly what they wanted. We recently gave our kids the same gift, pre-planned our own services. The Penwell Gable staff guided us through every step, and it gave us peace of mind.
We've helped families plan their arrangements for generations.
Taking care of the details is the greatest gift you can give your loved ones. Contact us for your free planning guide and get started today.
What are you guys most excited for this summer?
Playing golf at the beaches.
When your chimney decides to join the dinner party uninvited, call Certified Fireplace and Chimney. We're the experts in chimney repairs and replacements. Don't wait for a brick to crash your next gathering. Call now.
Hey, sometimes the biggest recruiting wins come by keeping your current players. That's the case for K-State volleyball's Aaliyah Carter, who returns for her 5th and final season with the Cats.
She's been a big time for a while. Big time player, I should say. A unanimous first team all-conference player when she was a freshman. I caught up with her earlier this week, and she says she's not just coming back, she's coming back with a vengeance. Well, Aaliyah, thank you so much for joining us here today. We haven't caught up with you guys for volleyball in a while, but you're coming back for another year. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I decided I didn't want to be anywhere else but here, and I've been blessed with the COVID year, so I'm going to use it.
So I was going to ask, so is this year 5 with the COVID year? Okay.
5th and final year.
Okay, got it. So what went into the decision to stay? You just couldn't stay away from K-State or what?
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. So I took my senior night not knowing if I wanted to transfer, go pro. I was really up in the air. All I knew during season is like I'm just going to play my heart out, see where it takes me. And then Selection Sunday came around, and heartbreaking that we didn't make it. And I think from that moment I knew, like, we have unfinished business. I can't leave right now. Like, I have to stay. So yeah, that ultimately made me want to stay.
Were there conversations that you had with other people, maybe family or coaches or anybody about that decision?
Yeah.
It's a hard one, of
right,
course. Yeah.
Right. I definitely talked with my parents and my 2 older brothers, and they all had different opinions, and I feel like the majority was like, you gotta do what's best for you, you gotta stay. And yeah, I think those were the main opinions that I cared about. Also, talking to my teammates, I feel like I just wanted to come back for the girls that couldn't come back. Sydney Boulding and Lauren Hinkle, they took their 5th year, and unfortunately it ended like that. So I kind of want to just do it for them.
Yeah, and so you're doing it for them, but also there's a little bit of newness, I guess, with this squad now that they're no longer here. And of course, your head coach is now in his 2nd year. How do you feel like things with the program are now after being under him? It's like, okay, we kind of have, you know, our feet under ourselves, and now we're going after this.
Yeah, I feel like it's great. I mean, this was the first time we played in this arena as well. So all the newness is kind of gone, like you said, but I feel like we're still establishing a good culture and just inviting the new girls to come in, whether that's freshmen, new transfers, and we're just gonna hit the ground running.
How does that change things for you, maybe? Because now you're kind of, I guess you were last year too, but now you're on the veteran side of things. So how does that maybe change your role a little bit? Maybe you were feeling that somewhat last season, but now especially in this coming season too, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a mentor for these younger girls coming in, or?
Yeah, I've always felt like I've had a leadership role just because I did start as a freshman. So I feel like the only thing that's changed is they're calling me old now. They're calling me real old, and I'm just like, oh. But yeah.
And you've seen a lot of change like over the last couple years, but you've also been here as a freshman. I feel like you're kind of a rare breed in today's day and age of transfers and, you know, just declaring and everything like that. I mean, is it cool to come back for your 5th and final year?
Yeah,
same spot?
I think it's amazing, honestly. I knew I wanted to graduate from K-State the moment that I stepped foot on campus. I love Manhattan. I love the homey feel. I love pretty much everyone here. So coming back for a 5th year, like, you don't see that often. And I think a lot of people actually appreciate it. And I've heard a lot of great things just this semester in general. Just, we love that you're coming back. We love that you're sticking with us. And it feels pretty good.
So what's the goal for you in year 5? Is it, I know you said you had unfinished business. So what's the goal? You want to leave it all out there? Is there anything that you're personally working to improve on?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I just care about the team's success, but I wouldn't mind breaking a couple records here and there.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay, what about end goal for the team? Is it to kind of revenge that selection Sunday from last year?
Yeah, for sure. There was no worse feeling than just like expecting to go and then just turning off the TV. That's it. So we never thought that our last game would have been our last, so I'm definitely going to be playing every game like it is my last.
Sounds good. Well, Aaliyah, can't wait to be back in here in the fall watching you guys try to get back at that selection Sunday from last year and making that journey this year. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Aaliyah mentioned it. She's kind of been a leader there for
Absolutely.
several years, but now she's in the spot where it's kind of a new era of K-State volleyball.
Yeah.
Those seniors are gone, 2nd year under their head coach.
And I feel like she's become the face of K-State volleyball in many ways. Her and Aoka Lee have grown women's sports in Manhattan, bigger than just volleyball and basketball.
Yeah, excited for the fall.
Hey, coming up after the break on K-Nation, KC Sports Network's Kevin Flaherty joins us in studio. He's here. We're talking Jayhawk recruiting. You don't want to miss it. Up next.
Congratulations, Danielle Hall, this month's Everything Woman honoree, for her many achievements throughout her career as a lawyer, including her work in educating both law students and practicing lawyers.
Everything Woman, sponsored by Sharp Honda, Topeka ER and Hospital, and Washburn University.
Hi, this is Voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Come on home to West Blue and Manhattan's West Side.
Adabus, providing and promoting the highest quality public transit services to our communities.
Manhattan's source for premium, high-quality legal hemp-derived CBD products. Top shelf CBD.
Visit some old friends, discover some new. Come home to West Blue and Manhattan's West Side.
The paper towel will absorb the acid.
That's crazy. Green tea to calm acne. This is my favorite tip of the day.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, that's genius. You just saved me $40.
Reserve your ticket for the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway by May 16th, and you'll be eligible to win the house and a $5,000 Visa gift card. Visit KSNT.com or call 800-846-2640 and help make a difference in the lives of children with cancer.
Welcome back to K-Nation. We're going to talk a little Jayhawk football. We got a special guest here to do just that. It's Kevin Flaherty with the KC Sports Network and the Pay Heed podcast, newly launched podcast. Kevin, how are things going?
Things are going really well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. Thank you for joining us today. We want to talk a little Jayhawk football. You've covered recruiting in the state of Kansas, not just for KU, but throughout the state for a long time. I'm curious, how much have things changed? We've seen it in the results, but probably even in the way that recruits, whether that's in the state or elsewhere, treat Kansas football.
Well, yeah, there was a top recruit in the state just a few classes ago that basically sent out the message, if I'm going to stay in state, I'm not going to Kansas.
Yeah.
And it was early stages of the recruitment. I'm not even going to give you a chance. I'm not going to look at you. And I think that's been the major difference. It's not necessarily, hey, Kansas is going to go out and dominate the state in recruiting or anything like that. But I think kids have their doors open more. They're willing to hear what people say. And, and I think an example of that in this year's class is Lincoln Cure, who I think Kansas State probably leads for, but he's still visiting Kansas. He's still having those conversations. I'm not sure if that would have happened a couple classes.
Yeah, Lincoln Kier, if you're not familiar, Kevin's talking about top tight end in the state.
Yeah.
One of the top tight ends in the country out of Goodland, Kansas.
All right, we talk a lot about Lance Leipold and, of course, what he's done in Lawrence and everything. But from your perspective, for somebody who's been covering this, you know, before Lance got there and to now, just this ascension that he's had now, transfers coming in, Michigan State, kids coming in from all over the place that maybe wouldn't have been there before. I mean, it's just interesting. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they've done a great job in the transfer portal. And one of the things that's really helped Lance Leipold that I'm not sure gets discussed enough was the addition of the transfer portal, the fact that you could take more than 25 scholarships in a class, because Charlie Weiss booted off such a huge portion of the players. And when that happened, he even told me at Big 12 Media Days, I didn't know the impact that that was going to have on the roster. And every single coach after that has been operating at a severe scholarship deficit up until Leipold, and the rules changes. And so obviously they were able to upgrade the talent across the roster, but even beyond that, just having 85 scholarship players like everybody else does.
As you look at what KU is doing in their recruiting, they've had a lot of defensive success. They've got a lot of studs on defense. I look at Dak Brinkley and the list goes on. We mentioned those transfer guys. Why do you think that is? Because their program has been, I don't want to say built on, but has been high explosive offense, but the defensive success is where we've seen the most in recruiting.
Sure, I think part of that was maybe the staff's best recruiter was Jordan Peterson, who now left, you know, for Texas A&M, as did Colin Klein, obviously from Kansas State. But he was a guy that really built relationships in Arizona, and so you were able to see Deshaun Warner was the top ranked recruit that Kansas has had in the recruiting database era. And so I think that was part of it. With transfers, I do think they've been able to sell at least opportunity, if not playing time. Then you can come back to a guy like Bai Jobe in this year's transfer class and tell him not necessarily, hey, you're going to go from not playing to be first team All Big 12, but at the same time, you're going to have an opportunity if you come in here and work the right way. There's chances for you here.
Yeah, is he? I'll ask you quickly. Is he a guy that you see playing right away?
I think so.
Jobe, the defensive end from Michigan State?
I think so. I think that when you look at a lot of their top defensive end guys, they're guys that are really quick but don't necessarily have college-ready size yet. They're younger. They still need to develop in that area. Bai Jobe is a younger guy, but he also has college-ready size. Somebody that can step in and not be at a deficit there, whereas some of the guys we just talked about, the Dak Brinkleys, the Deshaun Warners, you know, Dylan Brooks, guys like that still have to put in the work in the weight room to get up to that size.
Absolutely.
Right. A lot to look forward to for Kansas football, of course. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us here today. More K-Nation's on the way after the break. Stay tuned.
Searching for a career in advanced manufacturing or industrial automation? Manhattan Area Technical College's new Industrial Engineering Technology applies science and engineering through theory and hands-on application of skills. Learn more at manhattantech.edu.
Play It Again Sports is your golf headquarters. Come try out a new driver or iron set in our new indoor T-Turf driving cage. We offer a full range of new and used golf equipment from Cleveland, Srixon, Wilson Staff, Proline, and more. No matter your skill set, you'll find everything that you need to take your game to the next level for less. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
My name is Levi and I'm a Success Vision employee. You know, they say that every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of world that you want to live in, and I think that's what this is really all about. I think it's powerful when a business is driven by something bigger than profit. You know, when you choose Success Vision, you're not just getting the best deal on glasses. You're giving eye care to the elderly, to women, to children. You're choosing to help people. So thank you.
To bear for 39 in an hour for less. Come see us today, Success Vision Express.
I've been using the Mako system to assist with knee replacements for a few years now. I'm excited to be able to bring that technology to Newman Regional and Emporia. On average, there are quicker recovery times, less in the way of post-operative pain, makes it less invasive for the patient and makes it so that the end result is exactly the way that we planned it, kind of have a more reproducible result for each patient. We're able to make sure that we give the patient the best result that we possibly can.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Breakthrough to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
Welcome back to K-Nation. We started our show with a shout out to the moms out there. We got to give a shout out to the moms closest to us.
Absolutely. That's why we're all here, right? And
It is.
They all watch us.
It is.
This is my mom right here. Love her. She's back in Colorado. She was with me over the weekend. Jean Soro, everybody would not be here without her.
And shout out Jennifer Reinhardt, producer / reporter / anchor / MVP Landon, and his mom right there. And there's my mom, Michelle. Those are some old photos. We got to take some more recent photos, Mom. Actually, hold on. How much time we got here coming back? I'm going to see if my mom will pick up a FaceTime here real quick.
Oh, boy.
On the air.
Better hope she doesn't decline you.
She already declined my call once today.
Uh-oh.
We got about 30 seconds left here. Mom, we're taking her photos out of the ending if she doesn't pick up here. Hey, it's Karen. Hey, Karen, we're on TV right now.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. Tell Mom I said Happy Mother's Day, okay? Okay, bye. Sorry. Thanks for watching K-Nation. From Karen, Caroline, and Glenn. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
The nature of athletics in the state of Kansas, I think, stands out throughout the country as well as anything.
It would be a colossal waste of time if all we ever did was baseball.